Many of you may have heard at this point of the modality called EFT tapping, or emotional freedom technique. This draws on the ancient Chinese practice of acupuncture, which teaches that the body's energy actually travels along specific pathways, and that certain points on these pathways are stimulated to improve the flow of our energy. I actually have been going to acupuncture for many months now, and I can absolutely attest to its effectiveness, certainly for calming down, for activating that vagus nerve, the rest and digest state, and also for pain relief. I had a really bad shoulder issue, and after only 2 sessions, my shoulder pain was completely gone. It's a very easy to learn technique that involves tapping on the meridian points of the body while we repeat statements that help us to focus on issues that we want to either release or heal from. Tapping the meridian points using affirmations can help to alleviate stress, release stuck energy, cravings, or even just the odd, uncomfortable feelings sometimes that you need to shake off. Or in the case of the work that we are doing together on your voice, it can help you to identify and transmute any blocks to your full self-expression. I've been using this technique with myself for many years, and most currently with my clients, with really good results. That negative self-talk that we all do actually creates like a well-worn neural pathway that can become an obsessive thought loop. We've all had them. And that releases our stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, and that keeps us in fight, flight, or freeze mode. Well, EFT tapping can break that up. Break up those negative thought patterns by rerouting those neural pathways to a more positive thought pattern or mindset, therefore creating a different response in the moment when you are triggered by something. Instead of going to, oh, I don't like the sound of my voice. Oh, why would anybody want to listen to me? You're going to go to, my voice is very interesting and unique. I think people might want to hear what I have to say. So there's a totally different, more hopeful kind of thought pattern, which creates a feeling of empowerment and anticipation to what you can do in the world with your unique sound. So I'd like to take you through a tapping sequence routine that you can use yourself to identify your self-defeating thoughts about your voice. And this is a great tool that can be used for any thought or feeling that you wish to move through and release. It might be helpful to first write down those negative thoughts and then do the sequence. And you can repeat the sequence as many times as you need. The tapping sequence typically involves the following steps. First, identify the issue. Start by thinking about a specific problem or issue that is causing you stress or discomfort, such as anxiety, fear, pain, or a traumatic memory, like somebody shaming you about your voice. Number 2, rate the intensity. So on a scale of 1 to 10, rate the intensity of your emotions or physical symptoms. And this usually gives you kind of like a baseline that you can use to measure your progress as you go through that tapping sequence. Number 3, the setup phrase. You're going to be repeating a specific phrase while you're tapping on the different meridian points. It usually starts with the words, "Even though I have this issue, I deeply and completely love and accept myself." Number 4, tapping on the points. You're going to be tapping on each of the following points in order, using at least 2 or 3 taps on each point. So the points are, you start out with what they call the karate chop point, which is on the side of the hand. And you can stay on that one hand, or you can move back and forth. I usually stay on the one hand. And then you're going to move to the top of the head, above the eyes, like sort of right above your eyebrow, to the side of the eyes, underneath the eye, right under your nose, above your lip, and right below your lip and your chin. And then your collarbone, there's a point called the K27 point right here, maybe a little tender, and also sort of right under your little lower under your arms. And this also could be a little tender as well, if you can see what I'm doing. And then I like to come back to the karate chop point. It'll make more sense when you see me doing it. So number 5, you're going to be repeating the reminder phrase, that phrase that you will make up, like, I don't like the sound of my voice. All right, as you tap on each point, you're going to be repeating that reminder phrase that summarizes your issue, such as this anxiety, this pain in my shoulder, this feeling of shame about my voice. Okay? Then on number 6, you're going to re-rate the intensity. Do you remember how you had to pick a number between 1 and 10 as to the intensity of your feeling? So after you completed the tapping sequence, rate the intensity of your issue again on that scale from 1 to 10. And number 7, repeat the process. Rinse and repeat. Repeat the tapping sequence until you notice a significant reduction in the intensity of your issue. Usually like a level 2 or 3 is pretty good. Even if it can decrease the feeling by half, that's very helpful and very relieving. So to tie it all in, I'm going to take you through a tapping sequence now. And we're going to be using fear surrounding the voice. Of course, there are many different reasons to have fear surrounding the voice. Fear of being shamed about your voice, whether it's what you're saying or if you're singing and the sound of your voice. Fear of allowing ourselves to be fully self-expressed with our emotions and what could happen with that. What could come back at us for speaking our truth? That's a big fear. That's a lot of fear. Or fear can get into shame too, surrounding feeling ashamed for not speaking up, or having somebody shame us about the way our voice sounds and being afraid then to speak out again. So there's all sorts of levels and layers of that we can work on. So just watch me first and then you can do it yourself. So the reminder phrase is going to be this fear that I have surrounding speaking out with my voice. And then the setup phrase is even though I have this fear about speaking out with my voice, I still love and accept myself unconditionally. So right now I'm going to rate how I feel about that as I'm making a video. Speaking out with my voice, hoping that you receive what I am saying well and it's helpful for you. But I don't know, so there's that fear. Okay, so I'd say that's almost like a 5 for me, really. 5 could be a 6 at times. So let me start working with that. This fear that I have, karate chop point, this fear of speaking out with my voice. I can't believe I still feel this after so many years of doing this, of working with my voice. This fear, it frustrates me. I don't feel good about myself because I have this fear. But even though I have this fear, and it does not feel good, it just makes me feel less than, I still love, and accept myself unconditionally. So let's try that again. If you want to do it along with me, go right ahead. Where's your reminder phrase? This fear that I have about my voice. And explore the emotions while you're going through the tapping point. This fear, it just makes me feel anxious. Anxious because I don't know how what I'm saying is being received. And if people will think less of me. Yes, that's a big one. People will think less of me. But even though I have this fear of people thinking less of me if I speak out, I still love and accept myself unconditionally. So does that make sense to you? If it doesn't, just leave me a comment on the video and I'm happy to clarify it for you. It's really just playing around with it yourself and experimenting and seeing what works. So I'm going to now rate how I feel about that. And I think I said I was about a 5 or a 6. 3, 4. Yeah, I think it's a 3, 4. So do that just because that rating really helps to affirm that it's working for you. And take a look on YouTube. I believe the man's name is Nick Ortner, and I think his sister as well are doing a lot of work around EFT tapping, and they will walk you through the sequences if you want to explore it a little bit further. This is a really profound new modality that can be so helpful and valuable as a tool to decrease our anxiety, our fears, our emotion, our sadness, our pain surrounding our beautiful voice and our expression in the world.